This week, the governor of Louisiana defended his state's law to require the Ten Commandments be displayed in classrooms.
All of the founding documents of this nation were based upon Judeo-Christian principles. We just believe that displaying historical documents, especially something that is as important as the Ten Commandments, it is those that want to extract that out of the foundation of this country that really and truly want to create the chaos that ultimately is the demise of this nation.
And the Texas lieutenant governor is supporting the move, but says Texas would have been and should have been the first state in the nation to put the Ten Commandments back in our schools. I will pass the Ten Commandments bill again out of the Senate next session.
State Senator Phil King introduced a similar bill that failed in the House last year. He joins us now. Good to see you, Phil.
Good morning.
So tell us about this fight and how it came about.
Well, I do want to say Texas did want to be the first state to pass it. You know, the Ten Commandments is part of our history. It's who we are as a people. If you want to understand the American story, if we want our kids to understand who we are as Americans, they need to understand all our historical documents. And, of course, the Ten Commandments is one of the preeminent ones. We passed it in the Senate, had all the Republicans in the Senate vote for it, passed it actually easily. We sent it over to the House. It was whatever happened, happened, but it never came up for a vote in the Texas House. We'll be back in January. We'll pass it again, and I'm very confident all the votes are there in the Texas House.
Senator, it's clear that there's a historical reason to talk about the Ten Commandments, to have them posted, because they are the basis, the foundation of the Western legal system even. But that aside, we've taken out the Ten Commandments, we've taken out prayer. We say winter concerts. We don't have Christmas concerts anymore because of the way the law has been interpreted. But this is not a vacuum. You know, these institutions, there's no, I said this last night on Hannity, I think this is fantasy of like, there are these neutral zones. If there's a vacuum, it's going to be filled with something. And it's clearly been filled with leftist woke ideology. So now we have pride flags and condoms and birth control in schools instead of the Ten Commandments and prayer.
Well, and I really think this is changing. The Coach Kennedy case, which y'all talked about a lot from 2022, overturned the Lemon Test, which had been used since 1971 to stop a lot of religious liberties in America. When that was overturned, we think that's what's opened up the door wide for the Ten Commandments and for other documents of our American history to come forth that have a religious value. You know, just because something's written in the Bible doesn't mean it's automatically unconstitutional. And how great is it going to be for our kids to understand everything from the Mayflower Compact up, but also to look every day on the wall, K through 12, and see, hey, it's wrong to lie, it's wrong to steal, thou shalt not kill, hey, obey your parents. I mean, how anyone could think that ever harmed our children, which is what some of those cases talked about, is unnerving to say the least. But we think we'll get it passed in Texas. We're helping promote it across the country. I'm so excited Louisiana passed it. We just would have liked to have been first.
And really quickly, Senator, so to your point on the Lemon Test, the sense is right now that this would make its way, it'll receive its challenge. The ACLU has already sued the state of Louisiana, filed suit. It'll make its way to the Supreme Court, and you'll find a more receptive audience at the Supreme Court of the United States.
Well, yes, and in fact, the language that we took of the Ten Commandments is directly off of a monument on the Texas Capitol, which has already been approved by the U.S. Supreme Court in 2005. So the exact language we're using has already been approved by the U.S. Supreme Court. But we think religious liberty is going to be opened up across the board. There's this kind of a ghost of lemon that still hangs around, and we think this case will move to the Supreme Court. We wanted Texas to do, Louisiana as well, and I think ultimately you're going to see a brave new world for traditional religious liberty, historic in the United States.
We'll be watching the state of Texas. Thank you so much, Phil King.
Thank you.